Prisoners toiled every day, half submerged in the icy seawater, hauling on massive ropes to drag sunken ships back into the harbor. From the top of the seawall, Javert stood watch, his cold, sharp gaze fixed on their every move. Today was the day Jean Valjean finally completed his sentence. But Javert wasn't about to make it easy. He ordered Valjean to hoist an enormous shipmast and carry it all the way up to him, or today's work wouldn't be considered done. It was the kind of task no ordinary man could possibly finish. Yet Valjean, blessed with extraordinary strength, actually did it. Javert had no choice but to hand him his parole papers. But Valjean didn't understand. Why wasn't he granted true freedom? Only a conditional release. Javert explained coldly, "From now on, you must report to the nearest police station every month. Miss it once, and you'll be hunted down and thrown back in prison." Helpless, Valjean accepted. Free, yet not truly free. When he returned home, he found his house demolished, his family long gone. 19 years ago, when his sister's child was starving, Valjean stole a loaf of bread to keep the boy alive. For that, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. But after several failed escape attempts, each adding more years to his term, that single loaf of bread ended up costing him 19 years of his life. After his release, Valjean searched desperately for work. But with the yellow parole papers branding him a criminal, no one would hire him. Even children on the street mocked and bullied him. Wandering through the freezing night, he begged a stable owner to let him sleep with the horses, but was shoved away. The cold on the streets was brutal, but people's hearts were colder still. Eventually, he collapsed by the gates of a church, ready to sleep outside. Soon, a bishop came by. Valjean braced himself to be driven away again, but instead, the bishop smiled and invited him inside. That night, for the first time in 19 years, Valjean ate until he was full. The bishop even prepared a warm room for him to rest in. Yet despite the bishop's kindness, Valjean had stopped believing good people existed. At midnight, he quietly got up, stole the church's silverware, and fled. But before he could sell it, he was caught and dragged back to the bishop. Valjean was certain he was headed back to prison. But to his astonishment, the bishop didn't accuse him. Instead, he handed Valjean 2 silver candlesticks and said to the officers, these were a gift. He simply forgot to take them. The police released him. The bishop didn't scold him. He gave Valjean all the silver and said gently, "This is God's will. Use this silver to buy yourself an honest life. From this day forward, be a good and righteous man." Shaken to his core, Valjean knelt before the altar, weeping. 19 years in prison had left him bitter, hardened, and consumed by hatred. Even after his release, he'd known nothing but cruelty and rejection, ready to give up on the world entirely. But at this moment, the bishop's mercy rekindled a spark of hope. Valjean tore up his parole papers. He would leave Jean Valjean behind and start a new life. 8 years later, Jean Valjean was no more. Now living under the name Monsieur Madeleine, he used his skill and sharp mind to build a thriving textile factory, providing work for countless poor families. His kindness and generosity earned him the people's respect, and eventually, they elected him mayor of the town.